It's May 17th, 2022. I'm watching GMA3. Now, I don't really know how the system works, but if I had to guess, like a movie director does, and how anything in these parts work, when it relates to humanity, they are displaying in Reservoir the visual display on this television, in this FTC or FCC, whatever. They are displaying a reservoir for verb, a visual messenger that is now seated or podiumed via the chain of infection is now some vector, some direct contact, some droplet. It's many, many means within the agent of the White House, being Jean-Pierre whatever, in this Pierre de Resistance. She is standing at the podium infecting in mental disease and burden of disease the American people from within the White House, controlling the White House press secretary audience, which then feeds as agents of the White House out to main source media and so on and so forth. So now, I'm just curious, when the reservoir of what I can see at the podium speaking on this this vector of television, when the messenger no longer represents Rh negative, which is first order priority, how does one shut that level of taking it upon themselves to make and speak for everybody else really dangerously? Because it looks like a staged coup to the great beyond. And it in fact is, by all of the evidence that presents itself each day into this New York area. So I'm just curious, at that level of assurity, how does one get the reservoir, and the chain of infection to a sustainable level back to what the great beyond needs, especially considering that I'm being harmed at my security level? That's my utmost, my modus operandi is my own personal safety. So here we are. Because now the message is going to be skewed to some, I don't know, like, it looks like some semi-trucking facility that's looking to cause massive, like, vehicular manslaughter all over the highway and take out all sorts of EMS and important people, naval officers, fleet personnel, all sorts of things, directly from that podium, being that it's no longer a clean vector. It's going to cause symptomatic problems, for certain, as the burden of disease always does. And the messengers and the agents do matter, as does the one inside the White House, because it's a family estate, but yet non-familial members are now there. How does one take the responsibility of how many massive casualties they cause when they're standing at the podium speaking off course? How does that level of management work? I'm just curious. Because everybody wants to break the system, and then nobody wants to take responsibility, it seems. Which is how things go wrong, but whatever. So, Vector says today, which I think might put somebody, because I know the answer to this whatever that they're putting up here, about Lone Star tick and red meat. An allergic reaction. That sounds familial.
Because I don't take it. I mean, no, I'm saying, yeah, you know what I'm saying.
So dramatic. Detected and reported over 10 years ago, but it is increasing in its frequency. This is a bite that can cause a serious to life-threatening allergic reaction, really like anaphylaxis, to red meat. These ticks are found in the southern, midwestern.
Now, is this counterintelligence? Like the coup? C-O-U? Because poison and poisson are only short one S. So I'm really curious as to who's leading whose information networks in reality, in real world.
And northeastern United States. And again, the ticks are on the move. They're spreading, so therefore this syndrome is spreading. The tick then, when they bite us, transmits a sugar molecule, which then triggers in motion.
And what happens is then people call people mentally ill, mentally diseased. Then there's actual burden of disease that gets chemically mixed and let out in all sorts of vectors into the population. It's a big problem. And I really don't see any resolute. I just see things breaking more. And in the breaking and the chaos, as it's dispersed into the system, people get lost. And disoriented.
Reaction anytime the human who is bitten by the tick then eats red meat. Lone Star tick also causes other diseases, bourbon virus disease, heartland virus disease, but does not cause Lyme disease. So tick-borne illness, we talk about it, guys, all the time, but this is one.
It's star 1978, star 8378, Nicole, Cattaruzza. It's chain of infection at Resevoir and at mode of transmission. It's star 1978, star 8378, Nicole, Cattaruzza. It's Earth, solar system, Milky Way, universe, galaxy is broken, and it's Bayside Station, Bayside, New York, 11361.